In northern Israel has killed at least 44 people. The crash happened at a gathering for tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews on Mount Meron. Our correspondent Harry Fawcett's near the scene. He's going to be updating us shortly. First, this report from Sarah Khairat.
Emergency services rushed to the scene where tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews had gathered for the Lag BaOmer annual pilgrimage. What started off as an all-night gathering of prayer and dance at the bonfire festival ended with these chaotic scenes. Bodies of those killed in a stampede are lined up. Hundreds of people are injured.
Provided first aid to those who were injured at the site. We sent up backup teams, 200 ambulances, motorcycles, mobile intensive care units, helicopters to the scene in order to transport and evacuate those who were injured and killed to the hospitals.
Considered to be one of the holiest sites for Jews, the tomb of the 2nd century sage Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is what brings the faithful here. Around 30,000 pilgrims were gathered on Mount Meron, 3 times the capacity of what was allowed by the authorities. Organisers say more than 650 buses had brought in people from across the country, making it the largest public gathering in Israel since the pandemic started.
All of a sudden we saw paramedics from Madda and whatever running by, like mid CPR on kids, and then one after the other started coming out, ambulances. Then we understood like something's going on here.
Private bonfires at Mount Meron were banned last year due to coronavirus restrictions. The lockdown measures were eased this year after Israel's rapid COVID-19 vaccination program has seen more than 50% of the population fully vaccinated. Police say they've arrested 2 people for disrupting officers' efforts to keep order at the site. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described the stampede as a heavy disaster. Sarah Khairat, Al Jazeera.
OK, let's talk to Harry Fawcett, who's on the scene. Harry, Sarah's package there just showing us some of the chaos and fear that there was at the event. What's the latest that we know about this?
Well, yes, it was a dreadful event, as you just saw in those pictures, and it's been written on the faces of some of the people we've been speaking to here as well. We had been barred from getting further access than this police checkpoint until just a couple of minutes ago when they've said that we can get further in. But all the way up to here, we've been seeing stragglers from the events overnight trying to get lifts, getting on buses, and we've talked to a couple of them. One young man said that it was a crime carried out by the police, accusing the police of preventing people from getting access to one potential exit route out of the crush. Another man said that he had watched it take place from a distance and he saw people slipping down a series of steps on top of each other, and that it was an unavoidable consequence of that there were going to be deaths and injuries. I also asked him if he had ever felt unsafe at this event before. This is an event that attracts some 500,000 people over a series of days every year. Not last year because of the pandemic, but in a typical year. And he said yes, every time. He said it was a miracle that nothing like this had happened before because of the lack of organisation, because of the difficulty of access for emergency services, and for the sheer sort of chaos and crush that attends each time that this biggest religious festival in Israel takes place. So, as well as the buses which have been coming to evacuate the last remaining festival goers, there have also been buses bringing more police in to carry out a major investigation into how this happened, and there will be answers that will be sought from quarters, both in terms of the organisers, in terms of the police, in terms of the government, for allowing this to go ahead in such great numbers, in such a small, under-resourced, under-equipped, it seems, site.
Harry, I know we're going to be coming back to you in the next few hours as this unfolds, but for now, thanks very much indeed. Palestine's first parliamentary elections in 15